Mixtures are formed when we combine or mix two or more different substances. The defining features of mixtures are the substances that are mixed are not chemically changed, and the substance in the mixture can be separated out by physical means like evaporation or filtering. Now we categorize mixtures into three different types: suspensions, colloids, and solutions. A solution is a homogeneous mixture in which the dissolved substances are very small. So homogeneous means it's the same throughout. The water is the solvent and the dissolved substance is the solute. So with salt water, water is the solvent, salt is the solute. Same thing for sugar water. Water is the solvent, sugar is the solute. The solutes in a solution are not visible to the naked eye. They don't scatter light. Think about how your headlights do when you're shining into fog. That's scattering. And the solutes don't settle out of the solution if the solution is not in motion. So blood plasma is a good example of a body solution because there's salts, glucose, acids and bicarbs and all other things floating around in there. Colloids are mixtures that have larger solutes than we have in the solutions, but smaller than the ones we'll talk about in the next one, which are suspensions. Colloids sometimes appear sort of milky or opaque. They scatter light a little bit, but not quite as much as the suspension that we're going to see next. Some of the colloids that we find in the human body include the cytoplasm inside the cell, and also the colloid that we have in our thyroid gland. An emulsion is a special type of colloid. So it's composed specifically of water and a nonpolar or hydrophobic liquid substance, like oil and water. Think about that. If you put water together with oil, it's not going to mix unless you shake it up a lot or agitate it. But then what happens? It settles right back out. So in the human body, breast milk is an example of this specialized type of colloid. And our last type of water mixtures are suspensions, where the suspensions are composed of particles that are relatively large. So the largest of the three that we've looked at. They do not remain mixed together unless the mixture is constantly in motion, which means that the big solutes start to settle out, or if it's in a container, fall down to the bottom of the container. Think about when you mix sand or dirt in water. We all did that when we were kids, right? If not, I'm sorry, you didn't have a good childhood. I'm kidding. So anyway, if you put sand or dirt in water and you shake it up, it's going to stay mixed as long as you're shaking it. But when you stop, then the sand or the dirt settles to the bottom and the water is at the top. Well, blood is a solution that is a suspension in the human body, and it does the same thing. When you put blood in a test tube, let's say you've given blood for your lab sample and they take it into that test tube, well, it's all mixed together. But once that test tube sits still, or you put it into a container or into a machine called a centrifuge and spin it really fast, then all of the red blood cells called erythrocytes, they're very heavy. They're all going to settle out of the solution and pool at the bottom of the container.